Well, if you saw a multicolored van cruising the streets of D.C. today, it wasn't a throwback to the 60s. It might have been the Veggie Van. And together with an algae-powered Prius, the group that drove it to the nation's capital says this is the future of transportation. Clean Skies lead Patrick Sullivan caught up with the Veggie Van Organization and has this report.
Meet the Algaeus, a converted Toyota Prius that now runs on algae. It's now the first car to travel cross-country on a fuel made from algae.
Algae is one of the fastest growing, in fact, it is the fastest growing plant in the world. 50% of its weight is oil. We can use it in our cars, we can use it in our trucks, we can use it on our planes, we can use it on our trains.
The car is on Capitol Hill trying to get support from Congress to have fuel made from algae get the same type of incentives as wind and solar. The Waxman-Markey bill has incentives for algae, but the Senate's version of the climate legislation has yet to emerge.
But what they need now are members of the U.S. Senate to step up to the plate and pass our energy bill so we can in fact give the incentives to entrepreneurs to get this job done to bring algae to the marketplace.
The Algaeus is part of a fleet of vehicles driven from California by the Veggie Van Organization. Along with the algae-fueled Toyota, there's also an electric motorcycle and an educational bus that tries to educate students on where alternative fuels come from and how people can live without fossil fuels. Now this educational bus, the electric motorcycle, the algae-powered car, and the Veggie Van are all here in Washington, D.C. for the release of the movie Fuel. The movie, already a hit in Europe, documents on how non-fossil fuels, mainly biodiesel and algae, can power America. The movie caught the eye of James Kyson Lee, star of the NBC series Heroes. Burn the algae, save the world. Is this the message that you have today?
Absolutely, yeah. This is the fuel of the future, which should be implemented now. I saw the movie last year, and it just completely blew my mind. And it's amazing how we as American people are sometimes so misinformed and not educated about the energy that are affecting our everyday lives, and we're hoping that this movie will change that.
The algae movement also inspired singer Carole King, a lifetime environmental activist. She says the U.S. missed the boat on hybrid technology, and she doesn't want to see the same when it comes to algae.
But we can't be late to the game. Are we going to wait for somebody else from another country to come up with algae and promote it? No, we need to go with algae now. We need to protect our ecosystems now.
Now, whenever Lee goes on a story about some kind of alternative energy, he always brings me back a present. But before you give it to me, Lee, I want to ask you first, one of the big arguments about algae, of course, is the amount of land that it takes.
Yeah, the people that are really into the algae movement say that with an acre of land, they can get 5,000 gallons of algae fuel. But the big thing is how quickly algae grows, and you can get 5,000 gallons about every 7 days. So they can harvest it up just like you would like in a rice field or a cranberry patch, harvest up the algae, separate the oil, and it happens every 7 days. They can get 5,000 gallons. And this is the algae, this is the stuff right here. And not a bad day at the office. I get to speak to...
Usually I have to open it and smell it.
Now, actually, they encourage you to open that up, swirl it around, because CO2 is what helps algae grow.
Like fine wine?
Yeah, just like fine wine. So not a bad day at the office. You get algae, and I got to speak to Carole King. So
yes, I saw. It's unbelievable.
not a bad day.
All right, Lee, Patrick Sullivan, thanks for that fascinating report.